So, another question is, did I get to work out with Jason and Yahya? We were pretty ripped on set. Um, well, in Australia, there was a sound stage that was strictly uh, converted into a gym. It had all the kind of weights you needed, all the kind of weights you wanted, and it had a climbing wall for Jason. He's a big climber. I'm sure you guys all know. Um, Jason worked out with a guy named Mata, who's bigger, much bigger than Jason. Also handsome too. And Mata, I worked out with Mata a few times there and a few times here in LA too. We keep in touch a lot. Um, but when you were working out there, if you weren't Jason working out with Mata, you had to work out with one of the guys that they had there to train people. I guess for liability, they didn't want anybody to get hurt, and they really knew what they were doing in case people were novices at working out. And these guys worked on, Batman and all the other projects, so they're good trainers. I think there was one or two of them. I worked out once with Yahya there, but a lot of times I wasn't on the set, so I didn't have to be at the studio. So I worked out at the area where we were staying. It was just much easier than driving out there. So I didn't really work out with them that much, but I worked out with Mata a lot more, and Mata is a beast, let me tell you. Okay, so the fight scenes on the submarine, did I need any special training, and how long did it take to shoot? No, you didn't really need much special training. I think they wanted everybody in as good a shape as possible, although obviously you saw you can't see any of my body in the wardrobe that I was in, but I think they just wanted people to be, who knows what's going to happen, what might come off or whatever. Um, So no special training. We did, work with stuntmen a lot. Obviously, a lot of stuntmen. Obviously, I only have a little bit. I'm in the movie for maybe 10 minutes tops. Um, so I didn't have to have any training, but like when Jason throws that pipe at me and I go back, there's the stunt man did what's called a ratchet, where he gets yanked back and he flies, and he went probably a good 15 feet, into the wall of the submarine. And then they put me on a dolly, which is like a little cart where the camera goes on and it moves. I'm sure you all know what these things are, but and so they had me on it, and I was going, oh, and a real close shot of me, and the dolly's pushing towards the wall, and I'm doing this, and I think they superimposed my face on the stuntman for that, you know, 1 second shot, which looks fabulous, which looks amazing. But I had to fall a lot. So I was hanging up on the thing. So I had to fall constantly when he pulls the pipe out of my shoulder. I had to fall several times. And of course, they had a pad underneath me and stuff like that. One of the funny things, Jason would say to the entire crew, and, he'd say to James, well, how many times do you have Mike Beach falling to the ground? He's old, right? And so, yeah, that was. So anyway, he was totally joking, but of course, I am a little older. So that was kind of fun to do that, and then to get stuck under the missile. The set was right over a pool, really, a pool of water, and it was pretty high, but the set was on hydraulics. And I don't know if you guys watched the behind the scenes. I'm sure you did. I haven't, so I don't know if it's even on there. But so the submarine would sink into the pool water, and it looks like obviously we're sinking. And I'm stuck underneath the missile. Although, it's hard for me to get out, but I could get out, but it's pretty tough. So when the water starts to rise, we had to rehearse it again and again and again because we had to get the timing right for the dialogue and for the water to reach a certain height. So they had to modify how fast the set would sink into the water so that we could get the right timing. So early on, when we were trying to figure that stuff out while we were running dialogue, I kept inching up as the water comes higher. I would get higher, and then I would go even higher than I should be able to go because the missile is holding me down. But just your psyche just kicks in because it's real water, and you could really drown. Technically you could. But they weren't going to let that happen to me. There was always a guy off to the side who was pretty close, and his entire job was to make sure that I was okay, that, water didn't, get me or go up my nose, or if I panicked, who knows? It is frightening, actually, even though you're doing a movie, all those people are there for you, you're not going to drown, but still, like, sucking water into your lungs it hurts, it's not fun. So it was kind of cool, and we did it a gazillion times. There's a shot in the film where, I'm underwater and I have my hand up, and they have a shot of me, and you can see my eyes open. And that came from one of the cameramen because normally I didn't know what was in the water. So I just had my eyes closed, and he told me, he said, and I think I opened them at one point, and he said to me, hey, Mike, if you keep your eyes open, I can see you, so it'll be a kind of cool shot. So I did that, and he got the shot. It's in the film, and it is kind of cool. I kind of dig it. Let's see. So hold on one second.